Hi everyone, I'm Chris. I'm joined by Calvin today, and we're going to be doing some X-Wing games.
And we're showing off Wave 12 and 13 because, well, we want to stroke our egos a little bit.
It's new and shiny, so we're going to show off those. We have Aaron playing against Warrants today, and Aaron is running Kylo Ren in the new TIE silencer, and Warrants is showing off the Gunboats. There we go, see? Into shot and everything.
Spoilers, Kylo Ren is in a silencer.
Yeah, me and Calvin have both seen the movie, so Twitch chat can do its best to spoil it, because we don't even have it open.
Yeah, whose fault is that?
That's me, but I don't care. You guys can start setting up when you're ready now, and I'll start your timer. So which list do you want to cover first?
Well, let's talk about the movie-flavored list first. How about Kylo Ren with Sensor Jammer, Auto Thrusters, Comm Relay, First Order Vanguard, and Intensity. So he has his unique title. I don't believe we actually...
Yeah, First Order Vanguard, Intensity, Comm Relay, Auto Thrusters, and Sensor Jammer. So a really defensive point turtling kind of Kylo here. He's going to be converting one hit per attack into a focus result. Intensity and Comm Relay was a combination I was relatively interested in, because obviously you get to carry that evade into a first round of combat, but Intensity takes some work to get rolling when you don't have like PTL and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it can't really Intensity get the evade for Comm Relay. Then next round he needs to focus, not spend the focus, and re-trigger Intensity.
Yeah. I personally prefer the ridiculously dancey version of the silencer with advanced sensors, push, and...
Yeah, 2 actions and always green.
That ridiculous style.
Yeah, I do like this one. It'll be interesting to see how Aaron plays it. Then we have pretty standard Omega Leader, 29 points because stealth device, and a basic countdown, which I'm assuming is just to be annoying.
He had 22 points to fill. Imperial still don't really have a good, like, 20-ish point fillership.
Yeah.
So they have to make do with that.
We have Lawrence's list, so I'll let you read that one.
A pair of new squadron pilots with rockets, with proton rockets, homing missiles, advanced slam, and of course Arsenal loadout, because otherwise they're really, really bad. I mean, I still think they're kind of bad, as is, with Arsenal loadout. Come on, you're from the UK. You couldn't spell Arsenal correctly?
No, evidently not. Okay, how'd you spell Arsenal then?
Like,
That says Arsenal. It's A-R-S-E-N, not N-E.
like that team from that
Sorry, dyslexia is a thing, so we'll let us go in there in some form of order.
They're all in there
So do you
somewhere.
want to
That's all
actually
that
cover the
counts.
list anyway before we start with
I personally
stuff?
don't like rockets with Arsenal loadout simply because you need a focus to fire the rockets and you need to pick up a target lock to, you know, make Arsenal loadout work. So
That's
you
what
need to
General Hux
have
is in there for.
Yeah. But again, that forces you to fly fairly close together, and because you don't have K turns and you're forced to slam to set up shots with the gunboats, I don't like the difficulty in setting up that positioning and still staying near something as awkward and clumsy as
I would
Upsilon.
argue that I like prockets on it because you get the 4 dice range one shot. You don't have to be triggering Arsenal loadout stability every round. It's nice to have that massive threat at all range bands. You don't have to be using advanced slam to do it, especially when you've got like General Hux as well. But when I was making a list trying to do a similar type of thing, I was using harpoons and prockets, but I went with guidance chips instead.
Well, the upside of advanced slam is being able to slam around and go, oh, I've got a shot now, and pick up the lock on the thing that you actually got in arc.
Yeah.
Which is why I think you're going to see a lot of that as opposed to chips.
Yeah, and then Stridan's really good with having general hooks on board and system officer.
Yeah,
So-
like it's a strong support ship.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of can the gunboats hang out close enough to it.
Okay, let's flip it over to the top-down view to take a
Yep.
bit of a look at the deployment. And
Do you want us to get started whenever?
your timer's running, yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. All yours. Alright, so we'll start over here. We'll
Yeah.
So
do
we
shoot
have
bank.
There are so many pegs on that silencer that it's off the screen. Good work, Aaron.
Then we're gonna flying a ghost ship.
It's a ghost ship, but not a ghost.
We'll just focus.
auto focusing.
And then this guy.
Okay, that should stop the autofocus.
Yeah, see, the trick for Lawrence is really going to be setting up that initial engagement that isn't absolutely terrible for him. And he's jumping in really quick in hopes that Aaron can't
So that
gather his forces back together, but
Well, as we discussed with Aaron's Kylo, it does take some setting up to get all the token stacking that you'd like into play. So
yeah, but Kylo, although you can't see it, Kylo is actually pointed to go sideways along Aaron's side of the board, which means he can just power across the board and not actually get that much closer to them.
yeah,
So,
I think there's some good. I don't think this is a bad plan by Lawrence.
Yeah, but it's acquired.
I do think he did make a slight error there with that gunboat pointed at debris. That,
Probably just a focus.
if you're going to go that fast, you don't want to be smacking into debris on the round that you want to engage, because he's just stressed himself.
Yeah, you want him to basically be able to swam this coming round as well. So
Yeah.
we'll see if Aaron went for a stally type play, which could give Lawrence enough time to recover.
Yep. Here's the flappy tie flapping, as flappy ties are wont to do.
Everyone's favourite.
Yeah, especially playing with the wings, right? Yep. Aaron is advancing fairly conservatively, which is kind of what I expected. As you said, the intensity comm relay setup takes a bit.
Yeah. It's going to fly directly into the jaws of Major Stridan, get him to shoot him, and then mock him as he reduces it to one hit. I see 5 hits with 0 evades and change it to 1.
Seems good.
Or you can just shoot twice in one round. That's even harder.
Yeah, I don't really see the gunboats having a very good next turn.
It all depends on what Lawrence is going to focus down first.
I can get a, yeah.
Intensity triggers from boosts and barrel rolls.
Because he slammed last round straightforward, he is offering up a shot.
Yeah.
And gunboats are kind of clunky.
I've
once
got
you've
every
past them.
faith in Lawrence's 4 attack dice.
Okay, so engage combat. So there's 3.
Yeah, but he's not throwing any attack dice right now, so.
Oh. So those folks is a purely defensive. Oh,
He is,
the stream newbie correcting the regional champion there on how to play on stream. What we like to see. Spend. So it was hit crit, and then his 4 evade dice because of said debris keeps him safe.
Yep.
Good. Then you have a shot back.
I do. I
Oh,
can't
you're
fire
right.
weapons to see.
That's right. You have handicaps.
I do. I handicap myself so fast.
Behold the joy of weapons disabled.
Okay.
So
The problem is, with those obstacles being where they are, it's going to be very difficult to set up for a good shot on the silencer this round.
I think we can safely say that Aaron's hard 3 is going to allow him to power in behind and just start picking on general hooks. Not to ruin any themes of the film. playing in character.
There's only a couple of us in here have actually seen the movie. Greg has not. And so apparently Chris is obligated to mock him and attempt to spoil things for him.
I didn't say anything. Spoiler.
Is there any way that the mic can even pick you up from back there though, Greg?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not intending to be heard on the mic. I just want to see the screen.
This is a pretty good setup now. It normally picks Greg up quite well. So, what are you? Do you have any scale complaints about the silencing? Do you cry because it costs an extra $5?
I think the internet has worn that particular little argument out. I'm just going to note that traditionally small base ships are sold in blisters and leave it at that.
I like money. If I could get extra money for little extra work, I would take the extra money. I fully support these actions. Capitalism is good.
Well, it's not like we got paid for it.
Don't know, it keeps me in a job. Okay, that
Being
looks
spoilery
to be...
gets you out of a job.
Oh, and the
Yeah, I can
dials
fire
are
your
set.
ass. Of course, you can't fire me.
Just stop inviting you around, it's okay.
That's okay. I'll just go over next door and play Magic.
See, it's a hollow threat, you say this a lot.
It just sounds to me like you don't want my money and you want Card's Desk to have my money.
You know that you couldn't give up the Games Workshop crank.
Yeah, but I don't really play that here.
Just to buy it here, that's all we need.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
Well, there are some spoilers that we can talk about, like Primaris not getting any mention in the Dark Angel book, but do we want to?
Do you think Kylo is done fast enough? Systems officer.
If this was my Kylo setup, I would be perfectly content to just sort of cruise in, dance over to the side, and go, haha, I'm out of the way, and shoot you. But the way Aaron has opted to do this, not so much. I don't think it's actually possible for him to power past the gunboat that's pointed to the side. I think one of them is about to start taking damage, so you better get to numbering them, I guess,
So,
for clarity.
General Hux got applied to Major Stridan's ship. I think that's Warren is pretty much wanting to guarantee that he gets a shot. On something, anyway.
Well, Flappy Tie absolutely has to go forward enough that it's probably going to end up being a shot in that position, so...
Countdown will count down.
Yep. But is the countdown at 1? Omega Leader's a bit out of position, so this is the downside of like splitting up against a slam list, because slam covers so much distance that this sort of thing can happen.
Yeah,
And now Aaron has one ship not engaging in combat, while Lawrence's potentially are. Although he could just like plow past that one gunboat pretty easily in this setup. Like the way they're angled, like the way they're angled, like an advanced sensor play would have been really nice here. But
I still think if Aaron's dialed in the 5 forwards.
oh yeah,
Alright.
he has options. Like, even this one isn't terrible because it gets him out of one of the gunboat arcs.
He probably won't get a shot at all this round.
I don't know. It looks like he might be in that arc.
This is the one I expected. See. But you can only get to see how far it goes. I should have done the angle boost the other way.
Well, now he knows he's just not. He just doesn't want to get shot. Aaron's playing this a lot more conservatively. Well, well, you can see from his list design, he's going to want to play this conservatively in general because he's not set up to do the ridiculous aggressive shit that I like to do. He's set up to play a lot more cautiously and defensively. And again, not in the
2 hits
tray.
from countdown. Major Stridan dodges 1 and takes a shield.
Alright, so fire back, get that 4, range 3. And focus, counter it.
To cancel it. So 3.
And that's guaranteed damage.
One for the.
Wait for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So 2 damage.
Yep. Can't be
Doesn't
canceled.
have to stress himself though.
And then nothing over here, nothing everyone else, so I guess it goes.
Where's countdown gone?
Now, as you can see, that one gunboat that angled in rather than turning in is in a really bad position because he is slamming around a lot just to hope to have a shot.
Well, the tag locks are already established now.
Yeah.
So if he's going to chase
Well,
Kylo,
the problem is he's stressed, right? So he can never do more than a
the
135, and he's going to, and that's and I think only the only green bank is the 2.
And this is 3 straight green as well.
So that's actually going to make it kind of awkward for him to land somewhere where he's likely to have a shot this round, in my opinion.
He might not have the ideal shot. I don't think the positioning for later in the game is going to be too terrible.
Yeah, no, that space is at least relatively clear that they're flying into, but
It's you just don't want to let Major Stridan take too much damage before everyone else gets back
yeah,
into a fight.
he's going to have to get some work done now because with Stridan, because well, Stridan's probably going to suffer pretty quickly. Well, he's probably going to be able to do 1 point to somebody, so. It's just funny that Hux doesn't really work that well against a Mega Leader.
But he works really well against Sensor Jammers.
Yeah.
Kills with one hand,
I have a
takes away
focus.
with the other.
Yeah. Yeah, it depends how cagey you want to play with your Sensor Jammer carrying Silencer.
Yeah.
There are a lot of options, but.
So we get the hard 2. I've got a cunning feeling that it's going to be followed by a hard 2.
No, never. That's not what gunboats do.
I think the 2 was a better option in the 3 though. Just because
Yeah, because you don't
stay-
cover as much horizontal distance.
Yes, you stay tighter on Kylo.
Yeah. The only real problem with grabbing the 2s is it looks to me like that if the other gunboat were to grab the 2 bank into too hard to try and turn around quickly, it's going to occupy that same space.
He did switch a target lock over onto Countdown, which is interesting because that guy can also cover a lot of ground.
Yeah, and Countdown is also pointing the correct direction to easily clear the arc.
Yeah.
Especially, being Flappy Tie.
Yeah.
Unless he's just, going to jam Stridan forward and hope that Countdown smacks into it and stays in arc. Which is actually a reasonable option and one I might have taken. Look, yeah, looks like he's gone
He's
for
looking
it.
to block the onto
Yeah.
a rock, but
Yeah, he's
looking to
giving up.
pin Countdown in.
Yep, and he's giving up the shot, so he's giving up the shot to set up the launch. Admittedly, having a fat Upsilon there is occupying crime space is a pretty good way of dealing with this sort of invasive list. Like, if it can't go where it wants to go, it suddenly gets a lot worse.
But you do want to be able to get off that rock.
Detector wants to angle this way.
Yep. Of course, Countdown does have way out.
Yeah.
Because Flappy Tie. It's not a boost. It's actually executing the one. So
Or just the back would be great.
What if we can see on this side, then you can tell where that should be.
Yes.
all this finicky attempts to manifest to make the adaptive ailerons move happen.
Oh dear.
Not enough hands. Well, the flappy tie sticks to the landing.
So it's going to put him on the rock.
Well,
Oh no, it's going to fit. That will fit.
if he didn't hit that debris,
It did.
So, yeah, stress and stress.
yep, not in the best position right now, but not in the worst.
I think it was expecting to do the flat one forward, so I don't think he was expecting as aggressive
Yeah.
play. And Omega Leader, I wonder what he's going to shoot at. Oh, she's going to shoot at.
Well, I don't know about you, but if I were her and I had a giant shuttle with as the only thing in my arc,
A giant death shuttle.
yes, I can't shoot you back. That asteroid.
So this could be the turn that Aaron chooses to flip back intensity by taking the focus. But that would leave him perilously close to that rock without many options.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would take it this turn, but
I would not have done it that way.
wait for him to finish doing it before you tell him he's wrong.
It doesn't fit anyway.
Well, I guess if you can't do it, then I guess it's fine, since it's only wrong if you actually do it.
Yeah.
Now, this is basically showing off my problem with the gunboats, like all of them. It can be really hard to line up those shots sometimes. Against higher pilot skills, it can get very obnoxious to do.
But if you can fly 4BZ or 4Bs, you can fly gunboats. It's a similar type of conundrum.
The way they behave is a little different because you have the ability to Quagrin and then you can rotate 180 without sacrificing, without changing your horizontal alignment.
Yeah.
But the gunboats, you're always required to shift your horizontal alignment a substantial degree in order to get
Yeah.
anywhere, to turn around.
It's a similar puzzle.
Yeah. It's a lot less linear.
And sounds like Mr. Ramsey has arrived.
Yes,
Oh, sorry, Juke.
he's credited.
Juke, sorry,
So it goes to it goes.
so I take 3.
Ready for a countdown?
Are we going to have Rebel on Rebel again? Is Bill going to fly? Is Kingly go?
Ah, such resisting.
Oh, jeez. That house.
Looks like it's Civil War tonight.
Right. So he's gonna just there's 3. I have 3.
So how much damage does Stridan suffer?
Stridan is down to half.
Shields down? Okay.
Sure we're on range there? Oh, I can't hit him because I don't have a target anyway, so.
Oh, that's also right. He couldn't shoot him.
Those pesky rules.
Yeah.
So,
Weapons disabled means weapons disabled.
unless you have a target lock on your target, which it doesn't, so it means weapon been disabled.
Yep. Seems good. And Aaron regrets everything, as well he should.
Oh yeah, you did clear that. That was by the river. So you can't stop this turn.
So many different puzzles to solve now. Kylo, I feel like it's going to pull some range, but it's not necessarily the best option against the gunboats because you let them set up again.
Yep. Where he's decided to go, he doesn't really have the hard one option.
No.
I don't think that fits.
Is it a 3 swoop on the... Oh, is it
3 talent
roll?
roll.
Yeah. Countdown will flap in the way of things. And probably...
Well,
try
it's
to create some
stressed.
stress.
Countdown's stressed,
Oh,
so
no
it won't
flapping.
flap. No flap.
And no ability.
Can you say I don't remember the rules?
Oh, I say you remember all of the ones you need to while it's playing TLTs.
Which, given that it flies against everything, actually needs to know all of their rules to know how to properly fly against them.
We will... Do you chase Kylo now, or do you try and concentrate on one of the more predictable targets?
He hasn't really damaged anybody, aside from that one point on countdown. Looks like he's opted to go straight forward. I don't know. That other gunboat, I would probably be looking to set up a shot on Kylo. You can just grab a hard 3, focus up, and sit there. And I don't think Kylo really
So
has
I
a good
think
way
this
to
is
get
gonna
out
be
of your arc
switching
without.
to, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It should catch something.
Focus or stop.
Advanced slam.
Yeah, we're not doing
So Aaron trying to convince Lawrence to reload his unfired ordnance.
So with the stop.
Technically, he can do it. Just
Yeah.
Sure. I was expecting this turn.
So
stress.
Was that a 3?
2 forwards.
Just enough to
Oh, I
get
was
back.
looking at
He chose to hooks himself again. Okay. Yeah. Keeping his stress on countdown, but denying any shots on it.
Bump onto it, we get close.
yeah, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Like Aaron's style of aces here is clearly intended to go for the defensive plays. Like he doesn't want to swoop in there and blow up 3 ships in a single pass. He just wants to not die.
Suppose I should have done the fact that if Stridan is out of shields, he's also at half points.
That's okay. You don't know how it feels to score half points, do you?
Sure.
Back in my day, we didn't have half points.
Did not think that was going to happen.
Are you mad that there are assault gunboats on your lawn too?
Oh, actually, I used to fly it in X-Wing, so... Sorry, in X-Wing versus TIE Fighter.
Well, why not TIE Fighter?
Never played TIE Fighter.
Really?
I only played X-Wing versus TIE Fighter.
As odd as it may seem, I never got around to playing X-Wing until after I played the crap out of TIE Fighter.
TIE Fighter was first.
No, it wasn't. X-Wing was first. TIE Fighter was second.
You have to bring it back to first.
No. I didn't play either. Only X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. And the Balance of Power campaign.
Mm. Yeah, well, even when playing XV TIE, X-Wing and TIE Fighter were both clearly, visibly older generation.
So one reroll.
Ouch. Stridan's gonna get poked at a distance by
Yeah,
Kylo.
there was a crit in there as well.
Munitions failed.
Okay.
Oh, he's using the old damage deck.
Oh, you have the old damage, so yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's the only one though. One of that
It does nothing. The crits, they do nothing.
When you've got reloads, it does actually have the old lose your pilot ability, which would be terrible on Stridan.
No, I'm just meaning because that crit was
Yeah.
on Stridan, who doesn't even have a secondary.
Yeah.
It does nothing.
And
Absolutely nothing.
Even if you did it to one of the gunboats,
It doesn't really do a
rolls.
lot. It forces him to reload before he can use that one, right? I mean, if you're at range 2, right, and the rockets are out, and the homing missile is the only one that's up, he's got to
Yeah.
discard the homing.
Yeah.
So it could be relevant against them for a turn.
Yeah. And you also have hot
Yes. He's number
Okay, well, Omega Leader poked number 1 for a bit.
Alright, so.
Told you you'd need to number him.
Nah, it's all good.
Do you want to check out the back? Because he might have let me see what's in the Kylo shot. Yeah.
Alright, so we got this shot here on Omega.
Yeah.
You said it was range 1, so we're flipping all the pockets.
Oh, sorry. This should also. So my shot on you would have been obstructed, so you should actually roll one per die.
Okay.
Which I guess I'll juke it. Just go and roll it. Okay. Completely. So then juke it.
Okay.
So yes. Sorry. You should
So-
have one more die on that.
Rolling the extra die that did not affect anything.
It was just a potential.
Irrelevant.
So my shot on you was obstructed. Your shot back won't be
Why not?
because you're closest point
Closest
in,
point to closest point always.
but in arc.
Oh,
So if you
in
follow
arc.
your arc, you miss the rock.
Okay, you're right.
So,
Alright, so prockets.
Your
Can
mods.
modify, so we got 3.
Only 3 hits.
Only.
And you can spend your focus, correct? Or you
don't
don't have
have
focus. Alright,
Um,
so you get 1. Do you want to evade?
I will indeed spend the day.
Alright, so you take a hit for it.
Okay, so 3 shields. Yay, 4 dice. Pop stealth dice.
So stealth device is gone.
Blue stabilizer. What moves are stress?
And 1 crit.
Okay.
Seems good.
Well,
Well, we finally got a
you
hit
have
there.
failed me, dice.
Aaron could have considered rolling better there,
I
but
thought about it, but then I was like, I have an evade token. I don't need dice.
You didn't think hard enough, clearly.
Okay.
X indicates stealth device is gone. And then
Oh yeah, stress response.
this guy spent his pockets.
I'll keep mine back here again so I don't mix it up.
I'd be very tempted to just sort of slow roll countdown, just because it's really hard for him to get back around with the dials on those things.
Until that stress is gone, it's a pretty lackluster dial.
Yeah, I'd just have countdown, like probably loop around a little to the left and just drop that stress quickly.
Just be alive.
Yeah, like I said, this list just
Yeah.
wants to stay alive and not die, although it's not doing a very good job of that. Not with Omega Leader just taking 2 for free.
Right?
Well, nearly free.
It's hard to reach.
So it's hard now.
Yeah. I'm done. I do not have good dial.
Decisions for Aaron. Lawrence is quietly confident. Dial's down. Quite happy.
He doesn't really have a lot of decisions to make here, though, especially with Stridan. It's like, I mean, Stridan's options here are fly off the board or turn around to the left.
Well, it's
I'm gonna opt to, stay on board.
forcing him to kill you is always a better choice.
Exactly. He does not have a lot of options. One of these things is clearly better than the others. Now, the interesting thing is he could attempt to pursue Kylo here, but I don't know if that's a wise idea.
This guy over here, going forward.
Looks like he's going to slow roll and go for Kylo. I don't think Lawrence has a whole lot of experience with these fighters because I don't think he's realized that Kylo can actually pretty easily bust out a fist. Especially if Aaron was setting up for it. Especially if Aaron predicted this coming. Given the direction that Countdown is facing, honestly, I feel like going for Countdown was correct. For at least
From
one
the
of those
previous
gunboats.
position.
For this gunboat that's on the left, like it went straight this round. So I think it could have just grabbed a hard 2 and
That would have put it over.
no, yeah, it would have hit the something, maybe a hard 3. Also the hard 2 and staying stressed out of Stridan to set up the
Targets, and then we'll
You can attempt to.
set up next turn. So I'm not actually sure a 2 stays on the board,
Just so
but
that you know.
probably should be fine.
Because you're not moving against
So then we'll coordinate action and we'll let him target lock. Or sorry, focus.
So very tough, because if you stress yourself, you go
I'm
off the board.
Yep.
Exactly. Striker for 1. Keeps all that stress. Another leader. It's going to be bumping, I think. And I don't think clears.
So I think the big, when I say big, I think the mistake from Lawrence was that aggressive opening. I think committing a little early before seeing what Aaron's plan was.
Yep. Especially since Aaron was clearly designed to be clearly set up to be able to play it conservatively.
He has splashed some damage onto most everything that isn't Kylo, but
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, the nature of this list forces him to split fire against these
Yeah.
ships.
Kylo is going to be taking something from someone.
Yep.
There's too many target locks on this table.
Says the Omega leader player.
I've got 1. I'm not contributing much to this.
I only got 2, okay?
So, beginning of combat, so he's the only ship in range, so range 1 shot onto number 1.
Number 1 is the damaged one.
Yeah, he's on shield.
And it was a statement, not a question.
What's your real info?
The title, because he's the only ship in
Yep. First Order Vanguard lets you not target lock quite so much.
So
It's just going to be the 2.
We got our focus, so we got 2 off the shields. Counterattack, we can only use the primary.
Yeah, no problems.
Yep.
And
Can't focus. This is why I don't like the lock. Sometimes it can be hard to set up that focus and target lock on the same thing.
Target lock.
Yeah, most people figure it that way. So just 1. 1 evade.
lights.
Didn't
Oh, sorry,
force
we
it.
forgot countdown as well. You okay?
Yeah,
Now?
go for it.
So that's obstruct. Yeah, that would be obstructed. Range 3.
Range 3.
Yeah.
Nice.
Range 3. Just one. Yeah.
And Major Stridan's got his dancing shoes on, avoids the one hit.
Yeah, sometimes the shuttles will randomly do that, right?
It was a 3 dice, 3 greens against 1 hit.
That's yours.
As you are so fond of reminding us, it is a dice game.
I need to remember to keep that as I, not IJ.
There's lots of hard choices to be made now because of the positioning.
Yeah.
Right. If Countdown does not manage to bump or get out of Stridan's arc, that could be a dead Countdown.
The Stridan's arc is only going to come around so far just because, well, it's an Upsilon. What's it going to do? We've got... Countdown could easily get
he's
in.
doing the hard one.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
what can Countdown... What can Stridan even really do
So
here, right?
Countdown's probably going to pull in behind the second new squadron pilot who's currently undamaged.
Yeah, the downside here is that Countdown is double stressed, and anything he really wants to do is white. So, like, this is one of the reasons I never really got to liking the Striker. It tries to be agile, but it's really just fast.
It's just good fun. It's awesome. It's so much fun to fly. Flapping wings.
Well, it's fun to fly when you're flapping the wings around like they're toys.
And making pew pew noises.
Yes.
That's all you need.
Pew pew laser noises. So good.
And yeah, that lock still flickers with sword inserted. Okay.
Let's see what they did opt to do. One thing I'm starting to think with the gunboats is you really just want to disperse the obstacles quite far and use smaller ones because you need such large, clear paths to be able to slam effectively.
I think having one gunboat is nice. I think once you start going multiples, it becomes a bit too predictable. I do like it's like a previous wave that had the Tigressa, we were talking about flankers a lot. I think it's a really good flanking ship.
Yep, it has the speed to catch up if it has to.
Yeah.
I've been flying the quad Mangler gunboats because, well, it's me. I had to.
That was the list I did from today. Our final, should I fly it? I think YouTube video I made today.
You just put it up, right?
Up
So
today, yeah.
I haven't had a chance to look at it and go, "Wow, you're wrong again," and delete it from history. But no, I found that it absolutely has to start split up. It's not like the quad TLTs where you want to stay in a cluster and then scatter later. It has to. A lot of the time, it is going to want to start split up so it can continue presenting threats onto different areas while moving around. Just because having a mangler means you can't slam and shoot, so you want to stay dispersed.
I think the key to that is actually converging all of your arcs at the right time.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, you start dispersed and line up to sweep your shot arcs back into the coverage at the right time.
That was a move I expected from Countdown. But then we did have interesting moves. Power pump here, I think.
Yep. The gunboats aren't really set up this round. But looks like that Mun might be able to just take a crack at countdown to the primary.
As long as he's got him tally locked.
I don't think the lower one has a weapons disabled.
Did he only do bank?
It doesn't look like they slammed this round or reloaded, so.
Doesn't look like a shot for Kylo.
That's up there.
Nope.
So nothing for him. So
Yep. The arc didn't come enough around. Or it went too far around, I suppose.
That's done.
Well, countdown's got a shot for sure.
Yeah.
Juke.
One evade. So down to 3 hull now.
Yeah.
And I've lost the max.
Do I have him back in there?
Oh yeah, for that one. So I just measured.
I know he's definitely, so.
Okay.
Alright, so,
Rockets.
yeah, we're in pockets, so fire 3 from the point. And we roll that for target lock.
For 3. Okay. So 2 for regular, and then 1 for lightweight. So that's 2. Takes 1.
Countdown. Whilst not being able to use his ability, takes 1 damage.
Anyway.
Oh, I can't even use my ability because I'm stressed.
No, that's what he's saying.
I forgot about that.
Alright.
It's like he's using his ability.
Might as well be. I'm getting the more use out of it. So was that it?
Well, he's plenty stressed, so same thing. Same diff.
Yep, so no more shots.
He's stressed and taking 1 damage. Seems normal.
Great. That's everyone, right? Thanks.
The thing that Lawrence needs to hold on to is that he only needs 1 shot to turn this game around. Because all of our own ships can just explode at the moment.
Well, Kylo won't, but.
Kylo's got 2 rounds, not exploding.
I don't know.
Usually.
Well, he's still full health. He's still got his shields up, so he's not taking any crits.
Those
right now.
crits. When he does take them, and it's
Oh, yeah.
major explosion, direct hit. Sorry, Kylo, thanks for trying.
That's only shit that happens to you, Chris.
You're not just taking that as certainty, you know that.
His lady luck clearly caught you pissing on her lawn or something.
I prefer to think that it's just lack of skill at this point. No one can be that unlucky.
Yeah, roll better, right?
Well, no, that's happened. Wait.
Yeah, Countdown and Omega Leader are 1 good shot away from death. It's just a question of how do the gunboats want to try and chase him down, or if they even can, really. They've got a fair bit of awkward space negotiation to do, but Stridan looks like he's in a position to be relevant this round. So this is Stridan successfully negotiating the endless blocking and straightforward into the edge of the map.
Stridan's going to win the game, man. He's going to hold on to those half points and just say no.
This is actually what I don't like about the relatively conservative list style and play style. Like it's really hard for it to actually set up to finish things off that have so much hull, because they really don't want to trade shots.
Yeah.
They only want to set up those careful, we have advantage shots, but it takes so long to kill things when you're doing that.
You only have to track back through this game where we've had very few rounds where there's been more than 2 shots around.
Yeah, but and that's due to the play style of Aaron's list, which is necessitated by his design.
Yeah, it's deliberate choices.
Yep. Of course, I'm innately just a more aggressive player, so that's my bias speaking there. The fact that I just like to go out there and try and kill people.
Not blow up their X-Wing ships. Just kill people.
All right, kill their ships. Put it that way, then. Like, this is, but the upper gunboat, I think that's number 2. That position is a good example of why I would be dispersing the obstacles a lot more when I fly the gunboats, because he really wants to grab a hard 2 or a hard
and
3.
then swam into this. Yeah.
But yeah, he can't because of that obstacle. So like he can sort of like crawl around like that, and that gives him some interesting options. But
So I would have swam for the one bank.
oh yeah, so would I. Because at the very least, you block Omega Leader from going that way. And now if Omega Leader turns right, Omega Leader might just not get shot by that gunboat. This one is bugging out.
Which isn't really bugging out because you've got Countdown who has to chase you. Whatever maneuver Countdown does, it's effectively chasing that gunboat.
Is what it's attempting to bug out.
We got a system.
Well, Countdown could have done a turn and ended up hitting something, but I doubt that. I rather doubt that.
Yeah, it has to be another friendly ship.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Otherwise, systems option would be an infinitely better K4 security drone.
You're right.
That would be amazing.
Alright, and
For
then
one point,
she's
she's
got
there.
range, so we're just in focus.
RTFC.
Stress.
Finally clears one of the 2 stress he's been carrying for like 15 turns now.
All of the game, really.
Omega Leader.
Yep.
Is not happy.
Fire rockets.
Yeah.
Go ahead and focus myself.
I can fire my primary.
Yeah. I was just thinking like he sells rockets, but we don't have a focus on him, so I'm gonna go
Yep.
check it out.
I had to choose one.
He is right. No rockets.
Is that not range 2? What's that
Could be.
range 2 to me?
I think he
They might be close enough to be 1.
Stress
K-turn. Madness. Alright. Kylo and Kylo didn't get long enough. Or enough range.
Kylo needs to get good.
How is it range? So, make a leader. In R2 range 2. Yeah.
Sweet. I'll take
Yep,
advantage.
but the gunboat's going to have range 1.
Yeah.
Amusingly, the gunboat doesn't want it, but
Yeah, Juke one doesn't matter.
Okay.
Striker.
it would be a,
This is the hard part.
Measure
of the
his
win.
angle,
Oh yeah, because he was.
because I'll just
Just
check
on
it.
yep, there you go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Close enough.
See?
Did you have a measure? Did we measure that?
We never measured it, so I don't know.
Okay. This is what I wanted to measure. So that's out. So a range 3 with arc. On to number 2. For 1.
These gunboats are dodging lots.
Alright,
That's
fire
good.
primary.
Well, 2 green dice randomly do that. I mean, you've seen enough games with an X-Wing where it just keeps rolling the double evade and just, like,
Focuses.
does stupid shit like this. Well, at least Omega Leader is fine.
Yeah. Grand total of no damage for anything.
Yeah. Because Aaron is not really trying to set up shots.
He wants the 75-minute 20-point win.
Yeah, he's lucky this isn't a tournament. That would do his MOV no favors.
Just win every game. MLV's irrelevant.
That only helps you so far.
If you win 100% of your games, you win the tournament. MLV's irrelevant.
That is fair enough.
Get good, screw up. It's always been my problem. I just got scrubbed good.
I've never known you to win all your games, though.
Exactly. So that's what always been my problem.
Yeah, you just need to roll better and suck less.
Lawrence is concentrating on that dial. If you look at it long enough, the hidden maneuvers reveal themselves.
Yeah, he's secretly looking for the 2.5 3/4 turn.
The 5 choreogram. Talent roll.
The one that just rotates the shuttle around where it's sitting. I wonder when they'll, if and or when they will print that.
They did. It was for the U-wing.
Still that.
I'm a big fan of the everyone.
So, like an actual maneuver, not just a title that lets you flip. Because the maneuver dial, actually just having it be on the maneuver dial is a different thing.
You can reverse now. We've got enough maneuvers. Reversing was topped it off.
You don't think it was the jumping the shark moment?
What about? I don't know if it's spoilerish to say about the talent roll,
I don't like my other stuff.
but we see one on screen.
That was just a choreograph, I think.
3/3.
He goes
I guess
around.
You don't have
I didn't think there was that much horizontal motion.
to do the other thing.
With all horizontal motion.
Have you seen the movie yet, Bill?
Okay.
Alright.
So once Greg decides to go home and cry, we can all talk about a movie. It'd be awesome.
He actually looks like he's kind of crying right now.
Is that meditating in preparation
Yeah.
for the grudge match to come?
His face is all red.
Gets me a headache.
We get tired. No.
3.
It's the constant background noise of magic bodies.
That too.
Focus.
In response.
And the same for Stridan.
Mr. Stridan.
2 Stridan. Okay.
I think Stridan's picked a target.
Measure Earth's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kill it's dead.
Just a little
Actually, with the direction Omega Leader's pointed, that's not a bad idea, given that you only need to get 2 General Hux shots off on her.
You're not supposed to measure.
I'm okay with you having.
And if she switches her target lock to something behind her, I think you're relatively okay with that.
So we're not in range there. He doesn't need to focus. That would be me focus.
The only thing is, Kylo is in a really good position to just cruise up and light up the shuttle, so I don't know if he's going to have 2 turns.
Be fine. It's always evading stuff.
Look, Countdown doesn't have stress anymore. What madness is this?
Get to start flapping again soon.
Well, Flappy Tie shall flap.
This is where you get behind the gunboat and then end up flapping past it.
Yeah. The thing I really appreciate about Slam is the gunboats, much like quad TLTs, have the ability to go really slow, but also have the ability to go fast.
Focus. Yes, right, buddy.
The only downside of like the fast ships is the fact that that's simply not true for most of them. They only have the fast.
I'm gonna win this game by 20 points.
Thanks.
It is looking very much like Aaron will win this game by
I
20
think
points.
that Aaron's about to kill some stuff.
Anything else?
Finally.
So range 2 shot through the rock. So 2 for you. And
Trick
then
shot.
Proton.
Who puts trick shot on Kylo Ren?
I would.
I'd put it on Blackout.
Blackout, yeah.
Because that's glorious.
Yes.
That is so glorious.
So I take hit and crit.
5 attack
A
dice.
direct hit could make Stridan a sad proud
You
look.
don't grab a maneuver, roll an attack die, on the hit was on suffer damage.
Okay,
We're alive with 1 hit.
not dead.
Omega Leader.
Yet.
2.
Which one is that top one? Number 2 or number 1?
Number 1.
This is
Okay,
number
so that's
2.
the one.
This is number 1.
Just do one crit.
Okay, so number 1 is the one currently being shot at.
Yeah.
So you have no focus, so you take 2.
Okay.
Or, sorry, is it 2?
Just one crit.
Just one crit. Direct hit, so I got one.
Ouch. Can countdown make it good?
My dice have
It
been.
is evadable,
Nope.
but it is not evaded.
And that cleanly scratches a gunboat. And this is suddenly looking a lot worse.
Alright, so then the Epsilon, range.
That should be range 3 through the rock. So we'll go up to that.
Here we go.
Oh no, that's okay.
Not a good time just to have such a weak shot.
Spend the 8.
Alright.
A trillion dice.
Yeah. Well, range 3 and obstructed, so.
Yeah.
No, that was another game, because that was a 2 bank. I was thinking about that.
Fortunately, that wasn't Huck, so Mega Leader is okay. Now Aaron just needs to stall for 15 minutes.
I
Oh,
could have stalled for 15 minutes before that.
Yeah.
That wouldn't have done you any good. You'd still have a minute to go.
See, Bill is correct. Technically correct. The best kind of correct.
For a bureaucrat.
Aren't we all bureaucrats at heart?
I am.
you're gonna start playing Lucius at Malifaux. Take your gold wires and wrap people up in red tape.
Yeah.
Is that literal red tape? Because you're talking about Malifaux, right?
Malifaux
It sounds like that
red
is
tape.
something where it could be literal red
But
tape.
one of the abilities is red tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant. You like magically conjure red tape that binds people.
No, I believe it is. It's just annoying. Lucius is. You'd like him. I also like the ability where he has a contracted sniper that isn't even on the table somewhere. You just shoot a model anywhere on the table.
It's also really hard to fly.
Lee Harvey has a ball.
I like
I
that.
keep getting matched up against it, even though everybody tells me that aces are kind of dying in the meta. But,
I disagree with that. Significantly.
well, it's not.
Calgary meta. Lots of aces.
I think
So
bombs
this
are
will
gonna
just focus,
do.
and then Epsilon's going to.
Oh.
Calgary's love the aces too
The bombs are gonna make them useful. Fair enough. Right. I guess that's where your list comes in.
Yeah. This is where Lawrence just has to go for the big play. Otherwise he's screwed. I think he has to, if he can bring down both ships, right? Then he gets a 1-point win. But with Stridan at 1, I somehow don't really think that's going to happen.
Countdown can't cancel Hux is 1 hit.
No,
Yeah.
because it's cancelling dice.
I never even thought of
Yeah.
that. So, just focus?
So if you count down when you've been hit by Fanatical Devotion, you would cancel all of the other dice, take 1 damage, and then still take Hux's dice.
You sure would. That'd be a great use point.
If it's a choice of taking 4 damage or 2, it's still a correct play.
Yeah.
Bell and our just bombs on
Fair enough. Actually, you could drop her.
Yeah.
Gotta shoot first.
At this point, all that he needs is survival.
Put everything on countdown to kill each other.
I actually, like, because if I went straight, I'd bump into the rock before I hit you. And I didn't want to do that with him.
Yeah, that's given that again. This is the defensive play. That's really not a surprise. I think that is the correct defensive choice.
Good luck, little buddy.
And watch as countdown whiffs.
It's got what, one left?
One left.
Red
After
maneuvers.
red maneuvers, I might take damage.
Shooting at
It is countdown shooting at Major Stridan for one hit,
One.
Yeah, focus it.
which is evaded. Yeah. And the crowd goes wild.
Now the question is, do I shoot
Womp
countdown?
womp.
Who do you want to shoot now?
I think I
The
shoot
unstressed
countdown.
countdown.
It's untouched and token up, so.
That's the right choice.
Don't know. Depends if you think the other ship has got shots.
So two? Yeah,
Not an amazing Stridan shot.
that's right. So 2 regular, and then 1 for lightnings.
Yep.
Continues taking 1 damage at a time.
Without actually using countdown's ability.
Countdown has been the best in this game.
We're counting down.
We need
He's
to-
living up to the name.
Without using the ability.
Yep, sure. Through a rock.
Good
Sure
thing
you don't
lightning
wanna do
frame
all
doesn't
the
burn
thrusters
out.
into
Like,
January?
Nope.
You have a focus. You'll negate it. So
It's 1 hit. Blindness. Blindness and countdown goes down. Nope, not even.
Not even.
Alright.
10 minutes remain.
Oh, and I'll spend this to finally flip intensity back. Yeah,
You got it.
I just assumed I would be able to do that for this game.
That's optics.
No.
You're gonna take intensity.
So intense.
Could have been coordinating to get actually use.
Yeah, too much.
Yeah. Oh,
Not obviously in this list, but it's another way of.
I love coordinate. That they put it in the regular game makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do all sorts of cute things with it.
I'm waiting for the. I don't know why jump masters don't have coordinate. I think that's what they're missing to make them good.
Oh yeah, jump masters needed coordinate.
Well, they could do everything else, so why not coordinate?
Yeah.
Okay, this one's yours. I need it.
You got it.
It's one hell of a
The new
power.
pilot.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can keep this guy.
What are you doing?
His wings get moved.
What sort of madness has
Well,
been
mine-
unleashed here?
I love it.
Well, miming
It's one of my
out.
favorite games.
16 points of hilarity.
Why have you done this?
All
Why have you done this?
Because you can.
Because why not?
we have.
We will talk. I will definitely have things to say about this later.
My favorite is like if you give him Bridger or something like that. And this thematic image of Ezra being pushed at an airlock and Chopper just chuckling and here comes the shields.
And that's what Chopper would do. I would just like to point out that Bomb Loadout is an upgrade card.
On a wild.
And Chopper.
Oh my god, yes. Yeah.
The Y-Wing is the master
And
of
that's
chopper.
where the lights go on.
So is guidance chips.
Bomb loader is limited.
Yes.
Yeah, you can only have one.
But it is still one more upgrade card you can stuff on a Y-Wing.
Yep.
The connect munitions.
Yes. You put it in. And when you are directed to discard.
Discard the token. So it's a 3 points for 3 shields.
Such efficiency. It would be the sport Horton Psalm ever.
I love the idea of Boba Fett.
We'll
and
talk about this when we
having
talk about
questions.
this game, but I will give you the ultimate chopper. The ultimate chopper Y-Wing.
We'll set this up when they're doing it, yeah. For now, it's like Countdown looks like he's in a great position.
Stridan's still alive, that's all we want to see.
I don't think he's going to survive this round, though. Well, actually, Countdown is probably just going to whiff
Countdown's
again.
not going to hit anything.
Oh, so now we know who's flying Countdown. It's you!
Oh, there we go. We have Omega Leader target blocking. Oh, it's going to be the Talon roll in front of a rock. That's all we wanted to see. Oh no, just a hard 2.
That's a 3.
bugging out again. Oh yeah, it's a 3. I'm not used to this new camera angle for X-Wing.
Yeah. How long did it take you guys to set that one up? It's stuck in the ceiling.
Not long.
I don't.
Not much work went into it, if I'm honest.
No, that explains why the angle seems a little wacky.
What's wrong with that angle?
It's a little off.
You don't want
Well, I
it
guess you
di-
can
you
rotate
don't
the
want it
table a little.
directly top down.
Well, I meant that you could rotate the table a little.
Alright, let's do it, Stridan.
Oh no, you lost. There we go.
There you go.
Yep.
Finally got Stridan.
Barbara Stridan.
2 hits.
Mega Stridan.
Damage.
You have your other shots.
Alright, sounds good. Range.
And here comes the last hurrah from the last assault gunboat.
Yeah. So, spend fire missiles. That's number 2. I'm trying to get some missiles off. Flying missiles. Take that, Mr. B2.
No mods versus no weapons.
2 hits.
Oh yeah.
Damage function. Cards are red, so that's actually pretty bad.
That is pretty bad.
And if I do, so my whites are reds and hearts are reds.
Everything's red.
Basically.
And again, he fails to kill a Mega Leader.
But everything is red on Omega with his dial now.
Everything.
Sorry, with 1 health for Omega Leader, 1 health for Countdown, full health for Kylo.
This is very nearly as much damage as you could possibly do without scoring anything.
And the remaining gunboat has lost 1 shield.
Yeah. Yeah, this is probably going to be our final score because that gunboat looks like he's having a ton of trouble locking down a kill.
Yeah.
Sorry?
You could do 6 more damage to Kylo and have them all on 1 hull.
5 more.
5 more to go. Oh,
Cut.
sorry. You're set.
Those things no longer have 7, or if they ever had it. They're at 1, so they're at
I feel like Omega Leader's gonna die.
Come to me.
I don't know. There's a rock right there, so if Omega Leader just went fast and said forget about it, I don't know.
Target lock.
Or if it ended up going slow, could happen.
So countdown.
Flaps. I can't describe how much I love fluffy wings.
I wish it were better.
I don't want it to be good.
All of adaptive ailerons.
Yeah, come on.
They are. Fluffy wings is more fun though, because it has fluffy wings.
Yeah. Well, they are awesome. Flap, flap, flap.
Well, rather, I would say I like the flappiness of them.
That's literally the only thing that recommends the ship. But
Yeah.
they are so flappy.
And Aaron's gonna choose to not barrel roll because he's a good guy.
You slowed up. If you didn't have Proton rockets, then yeah.
I can't fire anything.
Oh yeah.
That's the crux. I guess I'll give it up.
I'm getting my new stabilizer flipped down.
Fire.
You give them proton rockets?
Yep.
No, you need to have focus.
For that random range 1/4 dicer.
Yeah, you want to cover your all.
You can still fire them if you've got it target locked. As long as you've got a focus token.
He doesn't.
And Hooks was giving out focus tokens.
Right. I really
This is
love
kind of where it
focus
falls. It
missiles.
clearly falls apart, though.
Striker.
It's homing missiles and pockets. See, what you could have done instead of advanced swarm is extra munitions.
That's fine. So 2 off the shields. We got 3, 4 hull left. Alright, so this locks to 1. This one's off.
This may well be the last turn.
Well, seeing as it's 80 seconds and they're in dials, yes, it is probably the last turn.
Dials are down. We have time.
Not yet.
Reveal them quickly.
Kylo with the 5 forwards off the table.
And a barrel.
No, that doesn't even work. I can get these 2 off the table.
Which is square damage even harder. Ready?
Good dance.
Shot Kylo.
I can't. Not unless I reload.
Oh, that's right. That's just-
Yeah, with reload.
You
Unless it's just-
Oh, you do get weapons decisions? This is what I get for not reading those.
That's why.
RTFC, Aaron. RTFC.
I played a Kimmergillas against him on Sunday, and I forgot that they had the reload match.
It's not like a core part of a concept at all.
Yeah, seriously.
I really like last year's templates. The solid orange shows up really well last year.
Yep. Very nice and bright.
So, Lieutenant Dormitz, hyperwave comm
So that's a
scanner,
red for me?
2 special forces ties with sensor jammer, comm relay, juke.
Intensity to get the focus.
Yes. Spend your focus.
There's 3. Mega range 1. Spend the lock. Crit. Focus. Yeah, so crit.
So close, yet so far away.
And that is game.
Yeah. That last gunboat refused to die.
Why didn't Lawrence slam there? Slam and a reload.
I was hoping that someone
Oh yeah,
would come around.
you could do both.
As long as you swam first.
Yeah, he could have advanced slam into the reload.
Okay, so I will get Aaron and Lawrence to quickly talk about the stuff and how the fellowship performed, and then they can pack away and we'll go to a holding screen. Do you want to come and talk first? Just so I've got less editing to do because I am inherently lazy.
Greg neglected to bring water, so I'm going to go get water.
Never asked for one.
I did.
Where's the mic anyway? Ah, right there. What do you want us to talk about?
Just how you felt the ships performed, what you like about them, what you don't like about them.
Sure. So we're on now, yeah.
Yep.
So, what do you think about the silencer?
The first one, the one that I ran against you on Sunday was Calvin's favorite with the advanced sensors PTL, so super arc dodgy. If you put prime thrusters on him, then you can still like K-turn and do your boost barrel roll.
Really goofy stuff.
Yeah, there's a, and if you run up against a stressless, then you're not just completely fucked. But when I played against you and the 2 games that I did play, Silencer just seems too fragile with just the focus. It's basically the same as original Defenders before they got the titles.
Yeah.
And those would just fall apart super
Yeah, I
fast.
definitely feel it needs that arc dodging in order to be able to last, because if you rely just on tokens to survive, it's not quite durable enough.
Yeah, in that form. And so I figured I'd try this. I can be a little bit more aggressive because I don't have to always be out of arc. And I wanted to pair it with Omega Leader because he's just annoying. And Countdown, I figured someone has an ordnance, like just throw Countdown at them.
Yeah, well, you got extra points, and Countdown's ordinance is really good here.
Yeah.
I felt like the lists matched up really well in your favor. The arc dodge is really tough for me to deal with. The ordnance overload on Countdown is easy for you to negate. All the modifiers I'm relying on, you can negate with Omega Leader, so it was really tough.
I was more just worried about Ren and Omega Leader because I put a lot of points into getting them those free evades, and then you have homing missiles.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, exactly. Which is really hard to line up. I tried to get the initial salvo. I came in a little hot, probably too hot in the first turn there. And then after that, we just tried to make it work.
And you did need to get those target locks off because you don't have, like, Stridan, you need he moves before everything that I have. So you need to do that to get in, but I think I still would have tried to slow roll it. And basically bring in one of the gunboats to try go for the close range shot, and then the other one comes in the back, and then he covers a wider area, and you can still get target locked with both.
Yeah, it's tricky. I've never flown any ships that don't have that kind of agility, don't have K-turns or barrel rolls, so it was a really neat experience for me to field something so wildly different from my norm. And to see you dance around my list made me really envious.
Well, you still almost killed everything.
I almost
Kylo.
killed everything, yeah. The
I
gunboats...
got lucky with Countdown. Countdown should have died.
Yeah, a little, but that's the way the dice roll. And I think the Alpha gunboats, they've got some neat tricks to them. I like that they can bring ordnance, reload, slam, move around the board, and for the most part, it doesn't matter much. When I'm fighting against squads that aren't as agile or against big ships, being able to unload heavy missile salvos repeatedly,
it's nice.
It's pretty good. But as you saw here, when you're matched up against some arc dodgers and stuff like that, there was quite a few instances where I didn't have my missiles ready, and you were in 2 to 3, or you were in range 1 and I didn't have the focus.
And it never even crossed my mind when I was looking at your list that he has to choose either a focus or a target lock in order to, and then I can basically, because I have reactive movement, I can choose what range that you're going to be in.
Exactly.
So I can basically control what shot you get off.
It gives you extra ability to arc dodge in my arc, which is pretty difficult. So
and so I would almost go with cluster missiles instead of rockets.
Yeah.
They're the same points, right?
Well, the biggest reason why I picked them is because you can keep your target lock and you can keep your evade with both of those choices.
Yeah.
And so when you're hitting with 4 dice, then you're also hitting heavily modified. So you're banking a lot on those initial salvos to make it work. So you're a heavy jousting list. And against lists like this where you're evading, you want to make sure that initial salvo goes off. But
which it didn't.
No, and at PS2 against PS9s and stuff, it's really hard to make those go off because by the time I get in range to get the target lock, you dodge past the arc and everything, and it's hard to line up everything.
You got, what, 2 homing missiles and 1 procket off? So, yeah, that's not a great matchup for you. But if you had got those shots off, I would have fallen apart.
Yeah, so it's kind of tricky. I think playing them with Stridan is an interesting way of getting a lot of tokens and stuff. But yeah, you're really weak to arc dodgers. Yeah. But yeah, I like the new ships. I think it's interesting. I think the alphas are probably casual, but I think the strikers got real legs for some competitive.
I think that the cannons have some legs on them. I'm not entirely sure about the missiles yet. This is actually the first game I've played against them, so we'll see. I have no intention of running them.
No.
That's because I'm cheap and don't want to buy stuff.
Yeah.
The silencer's my budget.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for the game, and we'll get you on again next time.